Hey everyone, I'm Bradley, and welcome to Zlangle. There are many superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe so far. I mean, there's been 17 movies, and every single one has brought new comic book characters to the big screen. But several have still not been given their chance to shine in the MCU, and I'm going to give my list of who I want them to include next. Up first, at number 7, is SheHulk. Though created by Stan Lee, SheHulk is a character I had known about, but never really cared about until I read the comics where she showed up several times in Avengers and Fantastic Four. I then tracked down some of her own issues, and really enjoyed them. She was one of the later creations of the great Stan Lee. This is an awesome character they could make movies of, and be a perfect female superhero to join the Avengers, since the Hulk is less than reliable at times. Next up, at number 6, is Captain Marvel, or Captain Mar-vell. Now, for those of you who don't know, I'm not talking about this Captain Marvel, or 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 even this Captain Marvel. Wow, that's a lot of Captain Marvels. But no, I'm talking about this Captain Marvel, also created by Stan Lee, and the one that, spoiler alert, died from cancer. And the death of Captain Marvel is a big milestone in Marvel Comics history. It's also one of the only comics deaths to actually really stick. For the most part, at least. Captain Mar-vell is an alien, a Kree to be exact, and has many powers, such as flight, enhanced strength, and energy projection. But I think he would be a great character to have in the MCU, especially since they've already set up a lot with Marvel's cosmic elements like the Kree, the Nova Corps, the Guardians, and the Skrull, who are reportedly being introduced in the upcoming Captain Marvel movie, based on the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel, who used to be Miss Marvel, not to be confused with the more recent Miss Marvel. You gotta love comics. But recently, there's been reports that Jude Law will be in Captain Marvel, and could possibly play Mar-vell. So we'll just have to wait and see, because if he's going to join the MCU, it'll most likely be in Captain Marvel, scheduled for 2019. Speaking of the cosmic side of Marvel, number 5 is Nova. Not this Nova. Okay, I'm not doing that again. While I would readily welcome any Nova, I would specifically want the original Richard Rider version. I do enjoy the newer Sam Alexander Nova, but Richard Rider is the ultimate one in my opinion. Richard Rider is a part of the Nova Corps. He was chosen by an alien, a dying member of the Corps, which is an intergalactic police force, that wanted him to carry on his legacy. Oh wait, sorry. I meant, he was chosen by an alien, a dying member of the Corps, which is an intergalactic police force, that wanted him to carry on his legacy. Roman Day, the leader of the Nova Corps, who's played by John C. Reilly in the movie, gave Richard Rider the power called the Nova Force. Richard Rider was an average kid, and would be such a seamless introduction to the MCU if they decided to go that way. All the necessary components are there. They just need to use the Force. The Nova Force. But seriously, I really want him in live action. Number 4, Beta Ray Bill. This is one of the people I'm most surprised that they haven't brought him on screen yet. He's such a cool character. He is a type of alien called a Corbinite, and he's essentially the first person in comics to ever have been able to pick up Thor's hammer. And while I guess he is technically in the Marvel Cinematic Universe already, by way of a statue in Thor Ragnarok, I want to see him featured heavily in a film. Kevin Feige, the head honcho over at Marvel Studios, even said that he almost had an appearance in Ragnarok, but that it was quick and didn't do him justice, so they decided to hold off on him for now. Number 3 is Bug. If you don't know him, well, you should. He's one of the Guardians of the Galaxy in the 2008 series, which is the first run with the now popular roster of characters with Rocket, Groot, Star-Lord, and the like. His publication origins come from a Marvel comic adaptation of the Micronauts toy line. Originally known as Galactic Warrior, Marvel decided to change his name to Bug because he already looked so different from the toy he was based on. Changing his name would technically make him an original Marvel character, thus gaining ownership over him. According to an interview with James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, he almost put Bug into an early version of the script. But that means he's at least in the minds of the filmmakers, so hopefully he'll appear soon. Next is number 2, Man-Thing. Like Beta Ray Bill, Man-Thing is actually established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe already.
Congress is like kindergarten. Where is this fridge? What was in there? Who or what is a Man-Thing?
But also, his face is on a statue on the same building as Beta Ray Bill's was. And we saw his wife Ellen Brandt in Iron Man 3. So he's certainly somewhere, but I really want to see him front and center. He is such a cool creature, and it opens up all kind of interesting story possibilities, whether he's in his own movie or a guest appearance in someone else's. Man-Thing used to be a man named Ted Sallis, until he was transformed into a mindless swamp creature, lacking intellect or humanity. And he wanders through the Everglades, sensing human emotion from afar, and possessing the ability to secrete a chemical from his body that burns the flesh of anyone who is feeling fear. So, make sure to put him in a movie, okay, Disney? I'd appreciate it. And last, because he's not least, is Moon Knight. He is one of my favorite characters, and probably my favorite that hasn't yet been in live action. The most he's gotten was a mention in the live action Blade series, but I really hope he's brought to the MCU, whether it's a film, or a Netflix series, or a series on the upcoming Disney streaming service, where they're bound to make original Marvel content. Moon Knight is someone that I could see being a small budget, serious story like the Punisher or Daredevil series, or it could be a great idea to do him with a big budget and go all out, and make it larger than life. Moon Knight is Mark Spector, and Jake Lockley, and Stephen Grant. He kinda has a multiple personality thing going on. But in reality, he is Mark Spector, who was a mercenary that, while on a job in Egypt, was killed near a statue of the Egyptian moon god, Khonshu. The moon god brings Mark Spector back to life, and he becomes an avatar of vengeance for Khonshu. He has a bit of a tangled origin though, because there's a werewolf in there somewhere, and sometimes his mental state is questionable, but he certainly is a really cool character that absolutely demands a live-action adaptation. So help me, Marvel, you're my only hope. And why does he wear all white?
Well, that's so bad guys can't see me bleed.
No.
I wear white so they'll see me coming.
So that's my list of the 7 superheroes I want to see most in the MCU. And I'll put a few honorable mentions in the description of this video if you guys are curious. But who are the ones you would put on your list? Let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching, I really appreciate it. Until next time, 'nuff said, and Excelsior.